So hello friends, welcome to my channel and Coaching Center. So today I'm going to explain you that is the 12th standard economics, third chapter introduction to macroeconomics, third chapter that is the production and cost. So let's come to the chapter. So let us know about the concept of production function. So the production function of a firm depicts the relationship between the inputs used in the production process and the final output. So Q is equal to F L1 by K. L represents the labor employed, K represents the capital employed, Q represents the output X produced. Next, let us know about the total product of a input. So total product is defined as the sum of the total of output produced by a firm by employing a particular input, and it is known as the total physical product, and it is represented by TP is equal to summation Q1. Next, the average product of input. So average product is defined as the output produced by per unit of variable factors employed. Algebraically, it is defined as the ratio of the total product by unit of labor employed to produce the output. AP is equal to TP by L, whereas TP is the total product and L is the unit of labor employed. Next is marginal product. Uh, marginal product. So marginal product of input. So marginal product is defined as the additional output produced because of the employment of an additional unit of labor. In other words, it is the change in the total output brought by employing one additional unit of laborer. So delta MPL is equal to, that is the marginal production is equal to delta TP by delta L. So delta TP is change in the total production, delta L is change in labor unit. Next, relationship between the marginal production and the total production of an input. So relationship between the marginal and total production of an input can be defined as like this. See here, TP increase at the rate till point K, it will be increasing the TP, that is the total product, and when more and more units of labor are employed, and then the point K is known as the point of inflection, it is known as, and after P point K, TP increases but at a decreasing rate. Simultaneously MP starts falling after reaching the maximum level at point U. After reaching the U, then it falls, and TP curve reaches the maximum and becomes constant at a point B. At a point B it becomes constant. MP becomes 0 because it falls full, and MP is derived from TP by MP is equal to delta TP by delta L. There you learnt know this one, that is the change in total product by change in the labor unit. So this they are representing by the graph, labor unit. This is. Next, let us know about the short run and long run concept. A short run is a firm cannot change all the inputs, which means that the output can be increased only by employing more of the variable factor. It is generally assumed that in short run a firm does not have sufficient or enough time to vary its fixed factors such as installing a new machine, etc. So therefore Q1 is equal to F L comma K. So Q is equal to Q is the unit of output, L is the labor input, K is the constant unit of the capital. Long term is the long run a firm can change all its input, which means that the output can be increased by employing more of the both the inputs, variable and fixed factors. In the long run, all inputs are variable and can change according to the required level of output. Next, that is Q is equal to FL comma K. Next, law of diminishing marginal product. So according to this law, if the unit of the variable factor keeps on increasing, keeping the level of the fixed factor constant, then initially the margin product will rise, but finally a point will be reached after which a marginal product of the variable factor will start falling, and after that the additional variable factor will be 0 and can even be negative. Next is law of variable proportions. So according to the law of variable proportions, if more and more units of the variable factor are combined with the same quantity of fixed factor, then initially the total product will increase, but gradually after a point the total product will start diminishing. So So when does a production function satisfy constant returns on sale? So constant return to sale will hold when a proportional increase in all the factors of production leads to an equal proportional increase in the output. That is fnl comma nk is equal to n into fl comma k. Next is, what does a production function satisfy increasing return to sale? Increasing return to sale holds when a proportional increase in all the factors of production leads to an increase in the output by more than the proportion. Next, when does a production function satisfy decreasing return to scale? So decreasing return to scale holds when a proportional increase in all the factor of production leads to an increase in the output by less than the production. So algebraically it can be represented as a representative of f n l into comma nk. So therefore n into f l comma k. So the concept of the cost function. So the function relation between the cost of production and the output is called as the cost function, and it is expressed as C is equal to FQS, and cost of function QS is the unit of output produced. Next, total fixed cost. This refers to the cost incurred by a firm in order to acquire the fixed factor for production, like cost of machine, building, depreciation, etc. In short run, fixed factors. So next is the total variable cost. So this refers to the cost incurred by a firm on a variable inputs for production. As we increase quantity of variable inputs, accordingly the variable cost also gets up. It is also called as the prime cost or direct cost. And the total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. So it is can be like this. It can be TEC by TVC. TFC, this is the total variable cost is equal to total fixed cost. Like that it will be going on. Next, so here average fixed cost, it can be defined as fixed cost per unit of output, and average variable cost, it can be defined as the cost per unit of output. And average cost, it is defined as the total cost per unit of output. Average cost is derived by dividing total cost by quantity of output. So can there be some fixed cost in the long run? No, there cannot be any fixed cost in the long run. In the long run, a firm has enough time to modify factor ratio and can change the scale of production. There is no fixed factor, as the firm can change quantity of all the factors of production, and therefore there cannot be any fixed cost in the long run. Next, average fixed cost curve look like. So average fixed cost curve looks like a rectangle hyperbola. It is defined as the ratio of the TFC, total fixed cost, to output. We know that the TFC remains constant throughout the output level, and the output increases with the TFC being constant. So like this it will be, that it will be AFC, it will be falling. Next, what does the short run marginal cost, average variable cost, and short run average variable cost curve? So the short run margin cost, average variable cost, and short run average cost curves are all U-shaped curves, and the reason behind the curves being U-shaped is the law of variable proportion. In the initial stages of production, in the short run, due to increased returns to laborers, all the costs fall, and in addition to this, in the short run MP of labor also increases, which implies that more output can be produced by additional unit of laborer, we can give them more output. Why does SMC curve cut the AVC curve and the minimum point of AVC? So SMC curve always intersect the AVC curve at its minimum point. This is because the left of the minimum point of AVC, SMC is below AVC. SMC and AVC both fall, but the former falls at a faster rate. And at the minimum point K, AVC is equal to SMC. Beyond K, AVC and SMC both rise, but the later rises at the faster rate than the formers, and also SMC lies above AVC. So like this it will be the diagram. So okay friends, I think you understand this chapter. So like, share, comment, and subscribe my channel and go to the center for more video. I'll see you in the next video.